Hello and welcome to another episode of the Anime Lounge Short Flights. I'm your host Lance here to talk about Ragna Crimson episode 10. Now, this episode was a lot of fun, but before I say anything, if you've been watching me up until this point, you know that I am watching the anime and reading the manga at the same time so I can compare and contrast. And this episode is going to take over the end of chapter 19 all the way through chapter 21. So there's a very, very minor differences between the anime and the manga, and I'll get to that, and it's all really at the end. So we open this episode up with Ragna and Crimson entering a conversation with Silverware and trying to get them to just work together so that everyone can take care of the common goal of defeating the dragons. So it was entertaining enough. Ragna is still just being himself, just his quiet, single-minded person that just wants to kill the dragons. And Silverware is just head over heels over this guy still. So it was kind of funny to watch that little communication just go through and have Crimson push Ragna into conversating with her in order to win her over and have them work together. Funny little poop and toilet seat scene that was kind of funny. So I thought that was fun. But the biggest takeaway from that whole conversation was to know that two big high class dragons are going to make their way over. Altozora, the poison, the mad dragon, he's crazy. So he's going. I imagine he's going to be the one doing at least the first appearance and maybe most of the focus is going to be on him because there's the second dragon, and I think it was Terra Tectra, and he's the explosion dragon. I think he's going to be a lot more fun to see because remember, we only have two episodes left, 11 and 12. So we're getting to some kind of point where things are going to get real crazy. And with the introduction of these two high class dragons that we have to get in the next episode because we only have two episodes left. So I think a lot of the talking and story building might come around Alto, the drug, and I think a lot of the beautiful action and real like punny, explosive action is going to come from Terra Tectra. So I can't wait to see them. I didn't read ahead. I don't know. So I'm just waiting. I can't wait to see them. Other than that conversation, and that really was just all they got out of that was they're going to work together to fight these dragons. Fine. Now, the second part of the episode is going back to Ultimatia and finding out that she just needs to suck it up and forget her fears and she can get her time stopping powers back. And she was talking to Walt, the Thunder guy, the second seat. If you need some kind of memory, the winged girl, Ultimatia, she's seat number one, and Walt, he's got a long name. It's like Walt Kamui. He's the second seat. So in terms of power, like that, I think that's how that's supposed to go too. So and Walt has got the hots for her too. So that was kind of funny watching him like be all tough guy and try to like win her over, even though she was pushing him away. So that whole conversation was just to make her realize that she needs to forget her fears and suck it up, and she can get her powers back. Now, this is where a little bit of the manga and the anime differentiate a little bit. So in the last anime episode, we had an ending with Ultimatia having a dream that she was talking to God, and the God came crying on her waist side saying, "Please help me, big sis," or something like that. That happens right now in the manga. It all happens in succession. It doesn't get split off like they did in the anime. She has the dream. Everything basically goes the same. She wakes up and Walt is sitting right there. So that's where the succession comes in. That's one little difference. And the other tiny little difference is when Walt has that dragon hunter's head and he's just sitting there admiring it, is creepy, but yet he felt like respectful towards that dragon hunter because he was a badass until the very end. So he respected him. But the disposal of that head was different between the two mediums. In the anime, Walt just set it on fire. But in the manga, he like summons like 20 dragon or 20. Well, actually, they were probably dragon heads. I was gonna say snake heads, but he's a dragon, so they're probably little tiny dragon heads. But anyway, he summons those little heads and they like gobble it up, and it takes like one or two panels. and is really quick. So that was the difference. It was the difference between setting it on fire and being eaten by little dragon heads. Both were cool, whatever. But that's really the only difference because they're doing a really good job on keeping true to the main source. And that's pretty much everything. You know, we're getting to learn a lot more about these dragons, and I can't wait to see more. What do you guys think? I'm gonna leave you guys with that. So I will see you guys next week.